didn't you already make 2 videos about Spechie, and didn't they both do very well?
Well, yes, they did, but that's not the only reason I'm making this video. There's so much bullshit regarding Spechie that I have to debunk, because if I don't, I'm gonna go insane, because she is the gift that keeps on giving. So, let's just jump right in, shall we?
Step 2. Understand the type of content you make will bring in different audiences. Depending on what you make, you will either end up with a majority teen adult audience or a child audience. There's no real in-between. While everyone has a mix, the majority of your audience is who you need to cater to. For example, animation channels have a large majority child audience. YouTube loves that. So that's why you see the Odd Ones Out, Tabs, and Jaden constantly getting promoted by YouTube, because YouTube loves to promote a family-friendly brand. You rarely see even my content being promoted because I am not as child-friendly as they'd like. While I am child-friendly for the most part, they want people to put on a fake smile and pretend like everything's okay. I'd say I've got more of a pessimistic attitude towards life sometimes. Unfortunately for me, children don't typically enjoy someone who tells them that life isn't perfect, but sorry kiddos, I'm not going to lie to you.
Spechie truly believes that YouTube is not promoting her content because she's not as child-friendly as people like The Odd Ones Out and Jaden Animation and Tabs. This is not entirely true. While I do agree that YouTube isn't promoting her content because she's not as child-friendly, I also think another reason why she's not as popular compared to most storytime animation channels is for 2 reasons. One, her videos are not good. They are pretty cancerous. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, if you like her videos, I have no issue with that. I don't hate you. You can like whatever type of content you want, but personally for me, I find her to be completely unpalatable, and her videos are just absolutely painful to sit through. It is very difficult, but then again, that's just me. And 2, her personality is incredibly abrasive, to the point where she's just unlikable. I know I've harped on this in the last 2 videos, but I have to reiterate it here. If you do not have a likable personality, you are not going to get anywhere on this website. I'll tell you that. You are not going to gain the kind of traction you want, because in order to succeed on YouTube, you have to be likable to a certain extent. That's just the way that it is. You know, again, people can't get behind you if you're a dick, or you're an asshole, or a bitch, or egotistical, or whatever other bad terminology you want to use. It's just not going to happen. And one of the things that really kind of irks me is the fact that, YouTube doesn't like these kind of channels, the ones that are pessimistic and cynical and aren't happy all the time. Which is not true. There are a lot of pessimistic and cynical channels on YouTube that are hugely successful. Channels like A Dose of Buckley, Your Movie Sucks, Paul Joseph Watson, Total Biscuit before he tragically died, H Bomber Guy, and many others. Seriously, if you have any other examples of pessimistic and cynical YouTubers that are popular, please let me know in the comments down below. Oh, right, I forgot, Jim Sterling, that was the one I was trying to remember. So yeah, it's almost as if it doesn't matter if you're happy or pessimistic or cynical. What should matter is the quality of the content. If the quality of the content is not there, you're not going to gain traction. If you don't have a likable personality, you're not going to get there. You're just not going to get there. Yeah, you can be a dick, yes, and still have a likable personality. You can make good points and arguments, but if you don't have that, well, you're fucked. It's as simple as that.
Step 3. Your personality is going to play a big part in your channel. You have to decide if you want to put on a fake face and lie to everyone about yourself, or be real. Some wonderful examples of some successful liars are Logan Paul, RiceGum, and Onision. Okay, before you scream at me in the comments because I dissed your faves, I want you to take a look at their content. Do you honestly think that anyone can be all that happy all the time? Logan and Rice constantly flex their money and fame to their child audience, and both of them have a huge ego, but they continue to pretend like they care about their audience when they clearly don't. Anyone over the age of 11 can figure out that just by a little research.
You're not wrong in saying Logan Paul and RiceGum are egotistical, because they are, but we didn't need you to tell us that, Captain Obvious, and I find it incredibly funny how you're trying to pretend that you're so much better than Logan Paul and RiceGum, even though you're just as bad as them, if not worse, when it comes to ego. What you just said is incredibly rich, coming from the girl who said this.
As I was sitting there, waiting for the lessons to start, my teacher stood up. She was a small female, probably about 5'4", pretty too. But what she said next shattered whatever hope I had for the class. She basically said, "Welcome to my digital art class. I'd like to inform all of you that drawing isn't real art. And pretty much, if you draw, you're talentless." She didn't say that exactly, but close enough. And I sat there, mouth open, staring at this 23-year-old woman who was supposed to be an art teacher, who was supposed to inspire students to be creative and to follow different paths in the creative world, and not tell them what they love isn't real art or isn't worthy of their time. That was when I decided to hate her. How dare this woman tell me what I did wasn't real art and wasn't worthy of my time? Who did she think she was? She had a piece of paper as her degree that said, "Wow, you can do art, you did it." And she thought she could tell me what I could and couldn't do? So me and her ended up having a unspoken rivalry because I, of course, ignored her wishes. It was an art class. I wasn't going to not draw. It was clear to me as soon as she found out I wouldn't do what she wanted. She just liked me. Anyway, at the end of the year, we showed our portfolios. Literal year of me battling my own art teacher to show her and the students that what I did was real art and required effort. I showed off my growth from 2016 to 2017. Not very impressive now, but at the time, I was proud I'd come so far. She ended up failing me, claiming my portfolio didn't fit the guidelines or whatever. I always knew that low-key it wasn't about that, and she was mad a 17-year-old girl had gotten farther with art than she ever would. I eventually ended up burning bridges with a few people I called pals because I was tired of being walked on. They may call me an egotistical bitch behind my back, but at least I'm doing something with my life instead of sucking dick on the blacktop.
Wow. Logan Paul and Rice Gum are egotistical, that much is true. And while it's annoying and obnoxious, at the very least, it's entertaining to watch. I can understand why people like them, because a bunch of young, impressionable kids see their lifestyle and how they live, and they want to be like them. However, when it's this shit, I have a problem with it, because this is not the funny kind of egotistical, it's not the endearing kind of egotistical, it's not even the so delusional it's hilarious to watch egotistical. This is the smug kind of egotistical. It's the kind of egotistical that makes you want to punch somebody in the face because of how obnoxious they are. So yeah, you're the last person that should be calling out anybody for being egotistical, Spechie. Did you guys know that she's real? I hope you did, because she will constantly shove it down your goddamn throat about how real she is. Seriously, this is a major pet peeve of mine. I hate it when YouTubers constantly have to tell their audience that they're real. It's annoying, and there's no reason to do such a thing. If you constantly have to tell people you're real, you're probably fake. If you're really real, you don't need to tell people that. It's incredibly obvious, but in a lot of the videos Spechie does, she constantly has to tell people, "Hey, look at how real I am. I'm not fake like all those other YouTubers. I'm real. I tell it like it is. Do you guys know that I'm real? Because I'll constantly keep pounding it down your throat that I'm real. Look at how real I am." Do you see how annoying that is? Spechie, your audience already knows that you're real and that you tell it like it is. You don't need to tell them that. But since you have so little regard for your audience's intelligence, you constantly have to keep reminding them how real you are, because you're so goddamn real. Just know. There's no reason to do that. We already know you're real. Stop telling us that. Nobody fucking cares. At least she knows how to deal with haters properly, right? Me after Googling my own name and seeing 8,000 hate videos, calling me out for being rude, by being rude. What about the people who have presented them logically and respectfully, like Miss Miza, Me-Tan, and Just a Robot? I agree that there are pretty rude or cringy videos on you like Berg Productions, but you gonna lump those three in with haters? I already realize there's stuff to work on with my channel, but most of these people are talking about old videos and not taking the time to research my other SM to see that I actually can draw. These videos are view grabs on a hate bandwagon. No one brings new info, really. That is true since I have seen the ones who overreact, but there are other reasons that I as well collected that need clearing up, since people are not sure if you acknowledge what you did was wrong or messed up on. People that hate you are the only people more cynical than you, like holy fuck, some of these videos are so bad and cynical that it's making me cringe. Just goes to show most of them are little kids with nothing better to do than sit online and attack a grown woman over her opinions in old videos, lol.
My nigga, you just got roasted, yo!
She unironically believes that all of the people criticizing her are haters, And to add on to the cancer, she used a troll channel whose sole intent was to attract her attention, because that's what trolls do, as a way of dismissing her critics as haters and little kids. Newsflash, Spechie, everybody on YouTube gets criticized. You're no different. If you can't handle that, then you shouldn't be on YouTube. I'm sorry. I honestly find it to be really pathetic that a woman that built her entire career off of being mean towards other people will cry foul the minute anybody does it to her. Even though most of the so-called hate is legitimate criticism. And Spechie isn't stupid. She knows full well that most of the people criticizing her are fully grown adults, but she desperately wants her audience to believe that all of the criticism are just little kids, because she's essentially pandering to them. She's lying. She's not being real. She's not being honest, which are supposed to be the core tenets of her channel. Like, seriously, you're not being real, you're not being honest. You know full well that most of the people that are talking shit about you, and I use that in air quotes, are adults. They're not little kids. Come on. Just get the fuck over yourself. You know full well that is not the case. If you really want to be real and honest, you should just say this. I don't care about all of this criticism. I really don't care about all of this criticism, you guys. All of the people criticizing me, oh, they're just haters. They're just little kids that have absolutely no lives whatsoever. I don't really care about this. They're irrelevant. They're insignificant pieces of shit compared to someone like me with my massive subscriber count. This is a deflection to convince you guys that I don't care about all of this, even though I actually do, because I'm an incredibly insecure individual that went her entire life believing she wasn't worth anything, so I constantly have to project that insecurity onto other people by being a stuck-up, condescending, egotistical, know-it-all bitch. Is that good enough for you? Am I in the ballpark here?
I decided to hate on him because he was making content I decided I didn't like. I felt like he wasn't living up to his core values of make videos to make you guys happy and laugh. In reality it was, but I was 13 and stuck in my ways. Most of the people who leave comments like this on my videos are also 13.
Once again, she assumes that people that don't like someone's content or used to like their content and now don't like it are 13-year-olds. And you're not entirely wrong. Some little kids do share that sentiment, but it's not just little kids, it's also adults. And by the way, I highly doubt kids are articulate enough at that age to express why something is bad and why something that used to be good is now bad. I'm just saying. And honestly, this just comes as another feeble attempt to dismiss all the criticism as, oh, they're just 13-year-olds, they're just little kids, and they don't know what they're talking about. She panders so much that it honestly irritates the hell out of me. That is one of the worst things you can do as a YouTuber, is just pander, and that's all that you do is pander. At this point, I'm honestly surprised her name isn't Pander Sprocket. That was a joke, Brooke. Please don't hunt me down and murder me in my sleep.
I want to give a little advice to anyone watching this who wants to get into YouTube. You will get hate. It's up to you to decide if you want to do something about it or ignore it. The best way to deal with it is ignore it, because you will have much more support than you will have hate. A wise man once told me, if you aren't getting hate comments on your videos aren't reaching a wider audience. So think of it as a good thing.
Another thing I'd like to talk about is that Spechie disabled the comments, and oh boy, I saw this fucking coming from a mile away. She says she disabled it because people were being childish and triggered. That is whack, Spechie. People are triggered at you because you fucking are spouting stupid and ignorant shit to people, and to your young fans nonetheless. You also say that you shouldn't have called depressants happy pills, but you wanted to lighten up the video just a little bit. How on earth would this fucking lighten up the video, Spechie? You're just gonna make people who take these medications feel more ashamed of themselves. And people are always calling you rude cunt. Yeah, you are pretty fucking rude, Spechie. And don't watch it. Oof, Spechie. Big oof.
Way to ignore hate there, Spechie. You sure are a shining role model for all the young and impressionable kids that watch your videos. If you keep up with that attitude, you're gonna go far, kid. Trust me.
I know this is kind of a serious topic, but I felt like talking about this and sharing my piece on how to deal with it or to deal with your friends who have it. I've never been medically diagnosed with depression, but I can tell you I probably have it. It has many forms, and sometimes teen angst can be mistaken for depression. If you are between the ages of 13 and 16, it's likely you're not actually depressed and just experiencing hormonal changes in your body, making you more moody and irritable. It's always a good idea to talk to your doctor about your feelings to see if they can give you any healthy suggestions on how to deal with your emotions.
This statement is flat out dumb, and I'll explain why. To say that if you're feeling sad and moody as a teenager, then you're not actually going through depression, you're just going through hormonal changes, is a clear misunderstanding of how depression works, because we were all depressed as teenagers. I was depressed as a teenager, and I'm pretty sure the people that are watching this right now were depressed as teenagers. And you know why? Because life sucks sometimes. Shit happens. Bad things happen. We go through a lot of shit in our teenage years that makes us incredibly sad and moody, and, for lack of a better term, depressed. I should know because I went through it myself. When my grandmother, who I never had a particularly close relationship with, died in 2011 due to diabetes, it hit me incredibly hard. Because when you lose a family member, especially one who you've lived with your entire life and who you've known your entire life, it's really going to hit you. And I was depressed for a while. I felt incredibly shitty. Not to mention all of the other shit that was going on in my life at the time. There were all sorts of other things that contributed to my depression that I don't really want to get into here. So to invalidate it and say, oh, if you're feeling sad and moody, you're not actually depressed. Oh, no. You're just going through puberty. You're just going through hormonal changes. It's fine. You're not actually depressed. Here's a little YouTube pro tip, Spechie, that I think you should learn. If you don't know anything about a particular subject, you don't have to make a video about it. You do realize that, right? Because if you make a video about something you clearly know nothing about, you're gonna look like a goddamn idiot. It would be like me trying to make a video about religion or politics, despite me not knowing anything about those particular subjects.
Step 1 is to not wallow. Sitting around feeling bad for yourself only makes you feel worse. It's a good idea to go outside and try to go for walks, even if it's a shitty day. If you're feeling bad, going outside and walking around will not only get your mind off how you're feeling, it'll also release serotonin, which is a natural happy agent our brains produce and a proven antidepressant. So instead of sitting around making vent AMVs or blogging about how depressed and sad you are on Tumblr, go outside and do things, even if you don't want to. Sometimes you have to force yourself to feel better, and it usually pays off.
Remember, kiddos, if you're feeling sad and depressed about something, just go outside, take a walk, and smell the flowers, and you'll be instantly happy, because as we all know, that's how human beings work. Are you fucking serious? Why in the living hell did you think this video was a good idea to make? You do realize this approach doesn't always work, right? Just because somebody goes outside won't automatically make them not sad and depressed. Human beings don't work this way. They can't just be happy or sad at the turn of the dime. That's practically impossible. And this ignorant statement just shows how much you don't know about depression. Then again, when you need to pump out a video every week and you're short on ideas, why wouldn't you tackle something you clearly know nothing about? Hey, give me those views, give me those clicks, I need them, even though I don't really have any ideas and this is a shit video. I just need to put something out there, even if it is completely ignorant and completely lacking in any sort of research. I need those views. Honestly, what more can I say about this that hasn't already been said? Honestly, her entire depression video was really fucking bad, and there are tons of terrible points that I could criticize and rip apart, but these were the two that I found to be particularly egregious. And honestly, since we're short on time, I'm just gonna wrap it up here. To all you Spechie fans that are watching this video and have already bombed it to hell, I want to make this abundantly clear. I don't hate Spechie. I don't hate most of the people I make videos about. I criticize them because I don't like the things that they're doing and I don't agree with how they're going about it. If you like Spechie, that's totally fine. I don't hate you. You do you. I'm not going to sit here and dictate what type of content you should and shouldn't enjoy. That's really not my place. All I'm here to do is to present my opinion, and whether or not you agree with it is entirely up to you. So all I ask of you is to watch this video the entire way through, and if you agree with me, that's great. And if you don't and think that I'm cancerous and a hater and a complete waste of space, that's okay too. And with that being said, we are out of time. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Unhero Rants. If you have any ideas for future episodes, let me know in the comments down below, or feel free to hit me up on Twitter at ThatKidDouglas. This is ThatKidDouglas, aka the Unhero, signing out. Deuces, stay frosty and keep aware. Cueing outro sequence now.